Before we discuss the big headline of the day, which is that Newcastle United have rejected a bid from Liverpool for Alexander Isak, I want to tell you about something I seen earlier that made me laugh. It was on Sky Sports as well, but they were doing a piece on Donnarumma being linked to Manchester United, and within said piece, there was an analysis, and as part of that, they did a comparison between Donnarumma and Onana, a whole load of statistics, and the question was, is Donnarumma an upgrade on Onana? What? You don't need statistics. You don't need data for this. I'd rather have Alex Brooker in goal at Old Trafford next season. It was just... It proper tickled me, right? I thought, are you being serious? What's the point in that? You don't need anything for the answer to be yes. That was it. It's a simple answer. You don't need any evidence. There's none of that required here. Nice, simple yes. Can you imagine being a research guy at Sky Sports? You go into work today and your boss comes up, got a task for you. We need it done quick. We're going to do a comparison between a potential new signing and a current player in the Premier League. All right, brilliant, Gaffer. What we're doing? Who am I doing? Am I doing Polinia compared to other defensive midfielders in the Premier League? No, none of that. Oh, what about Anton Stack at Leeds and Granit Xhaka at Sunderland? Are we comparing their statistics from the Bundesliga? See which promoted club's got the better central midfielder? Oh, no, we're not doing that. Oh, what we're doing? Donnarumma, Onana. That would have taken him 5 minutes to pull that stats together and prove that the PSG world-class goalkeeper is better than what they've got at Man U. Anyway, I don't know why. You could suggest that it irritated me. But it wasn't satire. This was done as a genuine article which was meant to be information. It was meant to inform you that Donnarumma is better than Onana. Anyway, it tickled me. It cheered me up on this Friday. Right then, the big news. Let's have a chat about that, shall we? Newcastle rejected Liverpool's bid for Alexander Isak. There's a bit of a discrepancy about how much the actual bid was. I've seen some say it's 110 million, some say it's 120 million with add-ons as well. So it's within that range. I don't think it matters. It's kind of irrelevant. If they bid 110 million, 115 million, 120 million, even if they bid 130 million, Newcastle would always reject it because they're not going to accept Liverpool's opening bid for Alexander Isak, are they? Because I think it's fair to suggest Liverpool would never bid their maximum budget for Isak in the first bid. So if they've decided we'll go up to 140 million, they're not going to bid 140 million. They're going to go in a little bit lower than what they will pay. Newcastle are fully aware of that. Newcastle were always going to reject it, and I think Liverpool would be expecting Newcastle to reject their bid no matter what it is. So they were never going to go in at more than 120 million, in my opinion, because that was the price tag a couple of weeks ago that Liverpool were in that region of a bid and basically got told, don't bother, we're not going to entertain that. So they know they were going to reject a £120 million bid. This feels inevitable. It has done for a little while now. Liverpool have sent the smoke signals to Isak a while ago. Isak, as a result, asked to move. He's currently in Spain training with Real Sociedad. He's saying to Liverpool, come get me. I want to go to Anfield. So Liverpool know Isak wants to move. Isak knows Liverpool want him. And Newcastle knows Isak wants to move as well. This will happen, but Newcastle have to be very, very careful here. They are going to get a top fee for him. 130 million, 140 million. I think it'll be round about that. A deal worth up to 138 or something. Maybe 120 plus a lot of money on potential add-ons. So they'll be okay. Transfer fee wise, Newcastle will do all right out of this. But they've got to get this right. What they cannot do, in my opinion, is sell Isak without signing someone. Because they've already missed out on their number one replacement for Isak to Liverpool as well. Liverpool have got him. So they're not getting that guy. So even if they sign Wissa, you can't really say it's Isak's replacement. I would argue it's Callum Wilson's replacement. Now, it doesn't quite work like that because you've got, a world-class player and a player that I think is finished in the Premier League, both leaving. And Newcastle, by the sounds of it, are looking to bring in two players who are elite-level strikers. Good, very good strikers in the Premier League. So they're not as good as Isak, but they're not as bad as Callum Wilson. So they're not going to replace Isak, like for like, or in terms of ability. But what they've got to do is try and make sure that, as a pairing, they're better off. That the two strikers they bring in are much better than Callum Wilson. Except they're not as good as Isak, but they're much better than what Wilson had to offer. And that's got to be the ambition for Newcastle. And it's achievable and realistic with a bit of money left over as well. But I don't think you can sell Isak and then start trying to sign him. Because Brentford are digging their heels in already. That's without Isak going through. You sell Isak and then go try and sign Wissa from Brentford. They're even more going to sit there and go, we know how much money you've got. That 40 million's gone back up to 50 million and pay it because we know you want him and he wants to move. You're going to have to pay it. So I think Newcastle need to get a striker in before they sanction this sale, but it just feels inevitable. And like I said, it's a shame it's come to this. It's just turning really, really ugly. And I think sometimes it's just unnecessary. Do it in the proper way. Tell Newcastle you want to leave. Go to Singapore. Participate as much as you can, while also making it obvious you want to leave. And the same goes for Wissa. He obviously feels like there's maybe been an agreement broken between him and the club, but there's a way of going about it. And I think turning up and training on your own is just sad. I don't like it. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. Anyway, in terms of replacements, Wissa, good signing. Watkins, good signing. But the new name in the equation is Muniz of Fulham. I would be giving a tick. If Newcastle signed Wissa and Muniz, Watkins and Muniz, tick for me. Wissa and Watkins are no. I discussed it the other day. I think they're two, because of their ages, 29 and 30, when in September Wissa turns 29, you'll get a couple of 2 or 3 good seasons out of them, but you're looking to replace them both at the same time. And I think that's a dangerous thing to do. But if they sign, say, Wissa and Muniz, I think in a couple of seasons you might be looking to replace Wissa. Muniz would be in his prime. Happy days. I think that would be, in terms of profiles, one of Wissa and Watkins and Muniz would be good signings. I'm a fan of him. I think when you take his goals per minutes ratio in the Premier League, excluding penalties, he's right up there, possibly up there. I think he's better than Isak and he's better than Haaland. Is he as good as those? No, but no one's claiming that. I like him. I think 40 million, it's a good price. And I think he feels a bit like an Eddie Howe striker to me. Works hard, good in the air. West Ham were strongly linked to him back in January, and I was all for it as a loan move with an obligation or an option to buy. And the price tag around then was 30, 40 million. Fulham were wanting big money for him back then too. And I think he's only looked good in the Premier League. I think that would be a good fee for Fulham as well. I understand why Fulham would rather keep him. I think he's an underrated striker and someone with a lot of potential. So I like the players Newcastle being linked to. That's never been the issue though. The issue's been they've been missing out on their top targets. And this window's already been a bad one for Newcastle. No matter what they do from here on in, it'll be very hard to come out and people think Newcastle have had a good window because missed out on Trafford, got Ramsdale. Missed out on Bournemouth, got Alanga. Isak's wanting out. They need to salvage this as much as they can. Make sure you go get your top target, a centre-back, whoever that is. Whether it's Mark Gay, whether it is Scalvini, make sure you get him at least so you can say, nah, we got the guy that we wanted. It's going to be a big ask for Newcastle. Isak to Anfield. It's inevitable. It's just a case of when and how much. Moving on to the Emirates and, well, Selhurst Park, really. It's Eze to Arsenal. Eze's release clause expires today. 68 million release clause expires. Arsenal chilled out because they feel like they don't want to pay 68 million anyway. They value Eze at less. There hasn't really been a number attached to him, but 55 million seems to be the number that's floating around by the majority of people. That's what Arsenal value him at. But Crystal Palace clearly value him at 68 million, and I appreciate you don't have to sell him for the release clause. But Palace are in a really good position here. European football of some form, depending on how the appeal to cash goes, which I think is on the opening day of the Premier League, I think. That's the date of the court hearing. So that'll be interesting to see how Palace get on and if they can get it overturning it back into the Europa League or if they're going to be playing Conference League football. Regardless, there's European football at Selhurst Park. Glasner's spoken about needing to get players in. He's spoken about not Forest causing bother for them in the transfer window, which is true. I get where he's coming from. I didn't read it and think that's wrong. I get it. But Palace need to start doing a bit of business anyway. But Arsenal have been linked again to Eze, who I think would be a top signing for them. Palhinha is off to Spurs for his medical, whilst Mickey Moore has joined Rangers on loan. That's a top signing for Rangers. He's going to rip it up in the Premiership, surely. Mickey Moore's just going to blitz Scotland. But that's a big loan move for him. It's a good loan move for him, and it's a good signing for Rangers. Sunderland have signed a new number 1. They've got Roefs in, and I've never heard of him. 11.5 million, 22-year-old Dutch goalkeeper. Don't know who he is, so I can't comment any further, but this is a bit of a Premier League transfer show. I'm just informing you. Maybe I need to do a big roundup. When will I do that? Maybe Monday? Do a big roundup. Every Premier League club's business so far. Confirms, not rumours, confirmed signings. Maybe we'll do one of them, because even I'm sort of out of the loop with everyone. I think I could name most of the business every club's done, but could I confidently name every bit of business? No. Shall we do that? Let me know in the comments below. But anyway, Sunderland have signed Roefs, it's confirmed, and Wolves are signing Wolfe from AZ Alkmaar, a left back, £10 million. Now we remember how good the last left back came to the Premier League from AZ Alkmaar, but that's Cunha replaced with Arias, and now this is Aït-Nouri replaced with Wolfe as well. Wolves fans seem happy with him. I'd be lying if I said I knew much about him. Clearly, I've not been watching Dutch football, right? You got me. I've not watched any Dutch football, but Sunderland fans are happy. Wolves fans are happy. Supporting Wolves get a bit of business done, and I think they're maybe going down the route. There was a period under Pereira last season when Cunha was out due to his stupid sending offs, but Wolves were, I think, better as a team. They were missing that individual brilliance, which I think at times they relied upon, with Aït-Nouri and Cunha in particular. And also Larsson was popping up with goals. He's been linked to Newcastle, but I'm taking that with a pinch of salt. I'm not buying that one. I don't think Newcastle are buying Larsson either. That's why I'm not really mentioning it. I've seen the rumour, but I'm quite dismissive of it for various different reasons. Anyway, that's the latest going on in the Premier League in the transfer window. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. But before you disappear, please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to Tartan YouTube channel. But if you would like that big Premier League roundup, let me know. It'll take a lot of work, but I'm willing to do it. Don't say I don't treat you. I'll catch up with you in a bit.